And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, our exploration of Electric Eye Heavy Fest continues right now with another band joining us on the phone to chat about this amazing festival. We've actually got Primrose Path on the phone right now to chat a little bit more about what's happening with the festival. So we've got one of the members of the band on the phone. Welcome to the program, Lindsay.
Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated to be here.
Now, Lindsay, we are so excited to have you on the show because we've been playing your singles this year on our show, and we've been getting lots of feedback about those tracks and how much people are loving them. So congratulations and welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. That's actually really humbling to hear and very exciting because this was a bit of a new chapter for us. So it's nice to know that it's being well received.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about this new chapter. What has been happening with the band? Like we said, we've had the 2 new singles this year that we've loved. What's that new chapter been like for the band?
Oh, it's been extraordinary. We had a change in drummer. We got a new rhythm guitarist, and we decided we really wanted to elevate what we were doing rhythmically, but also in terms of our overall arrangement and composition of the songs. And so the song that we released most recently, Viscera, we had been playing live for over a year, but we sort of revamped it to release. Irrelevance was an entirely new piece of music that we wrote actually while we didn't have a drummer and while we didn't have a rhythm guitarist, and were able to use session musicians to come in and record the drums. So we had Herb Bennett, who also plays in a number of Perth local bands. It's really been an opportunity for us to sort of chunk up our music a little bit, the way that we sort of always planned on it going. And we're actually back in the recording studio this weekend with Matt Templeman doing 2 more singles. So we're basically just drop feeding an album slowly.
Awesome. So having those new members come in, do you feel like that's kind of revitalized you as well and given you a new energy?
Oh, absolutely. Like my brother-in-law, and actually my other brother-in-law, but he's since left the band. We started Primrose Path sort of 2.5 years ago with an idea in mind, and we sort of weren't quite meeting those goals. So we had to make some difficult decisions last year about sort of switching over members and in order to achieve that. And we went 8 months without a drummer, and it was so stressful. It was so depressing. But that's why we decided to record Irrelevance and get a session drummer in, because we needed something to keep pushing. Anyways, just prior to us releasing that, we found a permanent drummer. So in the last sort of few months, things have just taken on a new life of their own. And I think we're all so grateful that we found each other and we're such close friends. Like, as soon as our new drummer, James, and our new guitarist, Taz, joined us, it was like, this is how it was always meant to be. And so it's felt very good and very optimistic.
Now, talking about big things that are happening, you are, of course, on the lineup for Electric Eye Heavy Fest. How does that make you feel being part of such an amazing festival?
It's quite extraordinary. We haven't been slogging at the Perth music scene for very long. We're kind of the new kids on the block. And so getting the opportunity to share the stage with such established bands, and not just Perth bands, but obviously Orpheus and Mega as well from Melbourne, was really quite a overwhelming, I suppose, experience for us. But importantly, I think it also demonstrated that there's this really, really skilled group of musicians here in Perth, and because we're so isolated, and so detached from the rest of the country, having a festival that puts sort of some of the most active bands all together, to work collegially, but also to put on such an incredible show. I'm so excited to be playing with Chaos Design, because people like me have known who they are for a decade and would never have expected to be playing with them. So, it's really exciting. So I think that JV Film, they've put together a really extraordinary group of bands and an extraordinary group of people, because I do know most of the bands. I go to many, many, many shows. They're all super lovely. So it's not just great music, it's great people. And I think that's going to be a really awesome energy on the night.
Definitely. And you've kind of already answered this question, but how important is a festival like this to Perth? Because sadly, Perth gets left out of a lot of tours and you don't get a lot of the big festivals that, say, Melbourne, Sydney or Brisbane get. So how important is this festival to the Perth music scene?
Look, I think it's important twofold. One, it's important for bands because we don't get as many international acts or even big acts from over east. It means there's less opportunity for bands who are trying to break through to support them. And so for a band, these types of festivals are extremely important because it's an opportunity to get seen that we may not otherwise. But in terms of the scene at large, including, the punters who are coming to gigs, the chance to see all of your favourite local bands, not necessarily just local bands, but, your favourite crop musicians together, and celebrating heavy music. Especially, this is a particularly personal show for many of us because we're saying farewell to Badlands.
Yeah.
Badlands has been like an iconic venue. And so, this is really a chance to get everyone together to celebrate our, mutual love for heavy music. And also to farewell one of the few really great venues for bands, unfortunately. So, it sort of has, I said twofold, it's really a threefold, reason for festivals like this to be so important.
Definitely. And Lindsay, a big question now. What can we expect from the Primrose Path set list for the night?
Oh, well, this is going to be an absolutely... I'm personally very excited about this set list. We're opening with Viscera, the single we most recently released. We're closing with Irrelevance, the one from... when did we release that? April or May, something like that. June, I think it was. So, but in between, it's going to be a combination of music that is some of our older roots with some psychedelia and some sort of, cool Tool-esque kind of breakdowns. Lots of screaming, lots of double kicking, lots of genty riffs, but all of that in conjunction with really cathartic music that we hope is an exciting opener for a festival like this, something that really gets people emotionally driven. That's what we try to do. We try to do emotionally charged performances. So, and I think that, I pray that we can sort of kick off the night in a really positive way, really immersing people in the music that's to come.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned before that you're heading into the studio to record a couple of more tracks. What have you got planned for the rest of the year after Electric Eye Heavy Fest? Will we get some more music from you? Are you looking to do some more shows? What's the plans for the rest of the year?
Definitely. There's a couple of shows that we can't announce yet, which sucks, but, excuse me, but we are hoping to get some more gigs after Electric Eye Fest. Electric Eye Fest at this stage is the last of the sort of big shows of the year, but we're never going to say no to other shows.
Awesome.
But our focus has definitely been on refining the songs that we're in the process of recording. So, like I said, this weekend we're recording 2 more singles while we still have 4 or 5 other songs off the album that we need to get recorded as well. And so we're sort of balancing gigging with making sure that we're finessing that music so that we're putting out, a quality of music that we hope is competitive on a sort of global level, not just in terms of the composition and the performance of it, but also in terms of the mixing and the mastering and so the planning that goes into the production of that and making sure that we have everything, at a sort of top tier standard is time consuming. So we're between both worlds at the moment where we're trying to be in the studio as much as possible and as much as feasible, because I'm sure you know how expensive it is.
Yep.
We've got 2 more music videos booked in as well. So, that in conjunction with just trying to perform as often as we can, we're always grateful to share the stage with other artists. We don't come at this, profession with any pretentiousness. We're just grateful to get the opportunity to share music with other people. So hopefully we can somehow keep ticking all of the boxes throughout the end of the year. But I'd say Electric Eye Fest is the last of our big ones.
Awesome. Well, I know a lot of our listeners are going to want to head along to the festival, so I guess to finish off the interview, what would you like to say to people out there who are thinking about heading along to Electric Eye Heavy Fest?
I would say stop thinking about it and just do it. Buy tickets, get your friends there, bring your parents. I took my mum to Toast and Abassi recently when we went and saw Animals as Leaders. Just get people there, come and enjoy music, come celebrate music, because it's a room of like-minded people, and it is so novel to get the opportunity to share spaces like that. And you know, my experience with the Perth metal scene is that it's generally a very friendly, very optimistic, you know, very happy group of people who just want to share a love of music. So I say stop thinking about it, get your tickets now and just come, because it really is going to be an amazing and eclectic array of really skilled artists that night.